Welcome into Celtics post-game live, presented by New England Ford Dealers and Ford Trucks. Scal, Eddie House, Amina Smith here with you. And the Celtics lose Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the Warriors, 103-90. And the Warriors now NBA champions right here inside of TD Garden. And Scal, we talked about this at the half, that the Celtics, they came out with the right intention, the right aggressiveness. But the Warriors, they just showed up to close out this series. I mean, we didn't expect to be here at the beginning of the season, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But just your initial impressions of how this game unfolded.
A lot of people say the Celtics weren't ready. I mean, I'm not really trying to hear that. I feel like when you're in this position, you got to take advantage of it. But I just felt like they weren't ready for the moment. And you could tell, like, even when the Celtics had a little momentum getting back into the game, they would turn the ball over 2 of the next 3 possessions, and then the Warriors would stretch it back to 13. Then they get it to 9, do the exact same thing all over again. So, I mean, I probably got it wrong. I thought, looking at our team, that we were bigger, stronger, physical, younger. But all that, like, didn't matter when the Warriors were making big play after big play, including Steph Curry, who deservingly got the Finals MVP.
Yeah, now I got to start off by just saying congratulations to the Golden State Warriors, to the world champions, to those guys. And they showed why they are champions, why they are a dynasty, why they are dynastic. You looked at what Steph Curry was able to do. I mean, Draymond Green, you know, we've been on him and talking about where has he been at. And in the closeout game, he comes up with 12 rebounds and 8 assists. Jordan Poole, we said he was unplayable. He shows up with a big 15. Gary Payton II with 6. Andrew Wiggins, consistent 18 points every single game, it seems like. And Clay wasn't himself, but he still chipped in and got baskets when you need it. So I got to shout out them and salute them for coming in here in a hostile environment with an opportunity to close it out. The fans got into it. We cut it down to 9, I believe, at one point in the third quarter, and they didn't waver. It didn't shake them at all. They just went about their business, workmanlike, and they're the world champions. And we all had it wrong. We thought that the Celtics were the better team, that they had the better players. But in the end of it all, the Golden State Warriors were better, and I think not only were they better out on the court, I think that from top to bottom, I think Steve Kerr was better in times, and that's the reason why they're the champs.
You talk about this team, this Warriors team being a dynasty, and you talk about Steph Curry winning that Finals MVP, and then also their head coach, Steve Kerr. He's been here 9 times, 9 championships for him. Scal, how much did the veteranship and the experience of the Warriors show up in Game 6?
I think when you look back at all of it, it was a lot more than we were previously letting on. Like, we thought in Game 4, Steph Curry has this otherworldly experience where, man, he ain't going to be able to do that every night. And you know what? He didn't have to. They found different ways to win. And it felt like, as you're watching from 4 on, you had one team that Eddie just nailed it, by the way. One team figuring out different ways to win with their limitations, and the other team figuring out ways to lose. And I agree with Eddie. Across the board, those guys made winning plays. Those guys had all kinds of things, like I said at the beginning, like Jordan Poole, man, the guy can't guard. He's a little bit loose with the basketball, delivers. Wiggins, known as being soft in Minnesota, like, oh, this guy is not the guy. They were about to trade him this offseason. Delivers. Obviously, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, not the same. Delivers. Draymond Green, he lost it. Delivers. And our guys, we're not delivering consistently. And I think that experience, at the end of the day, it showed, I think, for sure, in 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, and early on in this game, the Warriors, they went on a 21-0 run. Let's take a look at these highlights. It's presented by Shaw's Perfecting the Art of Fresh. In that run, the longest scoring run in the last 50 years in the NBA Finals and in an NBA Finals game. And Eddie, just how was that just the start of what we saw throughout the rest of the game for the Warriors and just how they were able to get what they wanted offensively?
Well, you look at that, the start of that clip, where Gary Payton II took a corner 3. Rob Williams runs by it. It's a short shot. Gary Payton gets it, but Tatum and Pritchard is right there. They were just first to the basketball. Right there again, look, it's 3 guys underneath in position. Nobody finds a body. It ends up being a 3. They were just first to the ball. They were hungry. They came in here to close it out. And, I mean, for them, it was poetic justice for them, right? They're looking at, for the Boston Celtics fans, they're looking at like, you guys were talking crazy to Draymond, you were talking crazy to Clay. Those are pros over there. You don't think that when they won that game at Golden State, they said, hey, we're coming out there, we're closing out in Boston to really stick it to those fans. I mean, that's what my mentality would have been. I know that's what your mentality would have been, and anybody who played that. So when I look at it, it's just, I feel like they came in, and it's sad to say, they just came in the hungrier, more aggressive, more desperate team, and they're a dynasty. Yeah. How are you a dynasty? You've been here before. You've won all these championships. You got a chance to get it again, and you're coming and you're hungrier than your opponent who is at home, who is trying to get the first one, who could possibly say, hey, we're going to be that new dynasty, right? You can start your own dynasty. Instead, now it's going to be questions, you know. We're going to see how the offseason is going to go, and it's going to be a lot of questions.
I really hate to kind of question the effort of the Celtics team coming into this matchup, but just like you pointed out, Eddie, it just looked like the Warriors from tip were just playing with more effort. I will take out Al Horford because he was out there playing
Jaylen Brown as well.
Jaylen Brown as well. But at times, Scal, did it come down to effort between the Warriors and the Celtics in this matchup?
I don't know if I want to just go all the whole effort thing. I just felt like one team was about the moment and the other team wasn't. And you know, I mean, to me, I look at like Jayson Tatum. I don't feel like Jayson Tatum wasn't trying. I just felt like he couldn't get anything going. And every time, it was weird. Like he would go to the basket, he'd just stand in there, and he gets knocked to the floor. Like I don't know if I've seen. He made plays that I was watching. And not just with the ball loose with it or with Andrew Wiggins. I'm watching plays and thinking, like, this guy's, like, really out of it. And I don't know why. I'm trying to pinpoint it. Is it because of Andrew Wiggins? Is it because Draymond at the basket? Is it because our spacing? We're in the 08 suite, and I think the word you heard more than anything in the suite was spacing.
Yes.
We'd be like, man, look at our spacing.
Horrible.
Man, look at our spacing right now.
Look at Golden State's spacing.
Yeah, and then we say the other, like, there was a play where Al Horford dribbled baseline and Tatum was above the break on the three on the other side of the court. Like, you dribble baseline, you got to drift baseline. If the ball goes to the basket, you're there. Because not just for your shot, it's for the guy right there so he could be aggressive. And if you don't have anything, you kick it out and you get the ball moving. By the way, I put it on the Scal Illustrator. We had a lot of times when we drove baseline, kicked the baseline, and got a good shot from that. And he just wasn't there. And so that's not, like, I think that's not effort. I don't think he's like, man, I'm not going there. I think it's just, like, mental. I think that our team, some of the guys were just out of it.
And I was looking at the rebounds. That was the thing at the beginning of the game. I said it's going to let me know where Jayson Tatum's mindset is. Is he going to be aggressive? I want to know how many rebounds. He had 3 rebounds at half, and I believe he ended up with 3 rebounds. He's not on the glass at all. That means he's not active. And that's where you can't let one thing lead to another. You have to be able to affect the game in other ways. And tonight he just wasn't there.
Yeah, definitely wanted to see more out of Jayson Tatum in this Game 6 closeout of the NBA Finals. All right, a look at that final score, 103-90.